Hi, and welcome to this installment of Frank and Mary here in Westborough. If you haven't seen this show before, my name is Art Bergeron. I'm an elder law attorney. I'm at Myrick O'Connell. We have offices. We have a lot of people here. We have about 20 people here in Westborough. But this show is not about elder law. It's about my friends Frank and Mary and their goal in life, which is to live in their house until they die and be buried in the backyard. And if they're in Westborough, that means they want to stay here. They don't want to move far away. And so the point of this show is to allow you, if you identify with this goal, to know the people that you need to know and the programs that you need to know about in order to stay right here in Westborough happily ever after. And with me is my great co-host, Shelby Marshall, who has in charge of finding all of these great people locally or from other places who are doing things locally that can help you do all of those things. So Shelby, we've got some great guests today. I know that you're very excited about this program. Once again, a program just opening up, I think, in Westborough. So who have we got and what are we talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Arthur. Great to see you again, as always. I'm very excited about today's guests. We have Dennis Lipka, who's the administrator of the Regional Transit Authority. He'll speak to us first. And we have Gabrielle McCraig from VIA, which is a brand new program. Both the RTA and VIA are collaborating with the town of Westborough to bring this amazing on-demand transportation program to us. Frank and Mary are gonna love it. I guarantee it. It's affordable, it's effective, it's efficient, and it's gonna get them to and from where they need to go safely. So with that, Dennis, welcome to the show. And tell us how VIA came to be in Westborough, please.
Thank you very much. Really happy to be here, and we're very excited about the VIA WRTA partnership. For a long time, the WRTA has had some type of fixed route shuttle service in Westborough, and it started off with some success, but as time went by, it just essentially was not the service that was best for the town of Westborough. About a year ago, I met VIA for the first time, and we started right away. It was a good partnership. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Mass Department of Transportation, was encouraging regional transit authorities to do different types of partnerships for transportation solutions. VIA is an international company, privately held, that's been tremendously successful in a number of different municipal cities and regions in the United States and throughout the world. And it was a match kind of made in heaven. And we took a look at all 37 communities in the Worcester Regional Transit Authority area, and the best fit for a pilot, let's give this a try, was Westborough. We could refocus the shuttle assets elsewhere to do something else. And I made a commitment to the administration in Westborough that we would not pull the shuttle service until we had something locked in with VIA or some other service. We applied for a grant with Mass DOT, the Division of Rail and Transit, the discretionary grants for regional transit authorities, and received the largest grant in fiscal 20 to implement and start the WRTA VIA shuttle service in Westborough. And the program essentially is a dynamic on-demand system. VIA specializes in being able to modify the service to match up with the demand and the needs that the community has, which is something that typical regional fixed route transit has not been very good at. The VIA people were very excited to come out here. We received, again, the grant from Mass DOT. We added some additional funds from Mass DOT through CMAQ, which is the air quality and mitigation component of DEP/Mass DOT efforts.
Love all the acronyms.
I know it. I haven't even got rolling yet. But the idea was that we're also working to minimize congestion and to improve people's options for transit. This is a community-wide grant available to all the residents of Westborough. We drew, Gabby will talk to you about the service area, but we tried to incorporate a little, some of the areas a little beyond. We've incorporated some shopping opportunities in Northborough. We've incorporated both the MBTA stations in Westborough and Southborough. We have an aggressive fare policy that's going to encourage people to try this out. And if they do, in fact, use it, it's going to be very economical, and it'll run Monday through Friday. All that said, I want to turn it over to Gabby, who's going to help you understand a little bit about VIA and the details of how the service operates.
Great. Welcome, Gabby from VIA.
Welcome, Gabby.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me. Good morning. We're very, very, very excited about this project. I think, as mentioned, what VIA really is we are, as we like to describe ourselves, a public mobility company. So we build technology and in some cases also operate services all over the world, I think on pretty much every continent except Antarctica at the moment. And it's all about improving sort of equity and access in transportation to folks. So, if you think a little bit about sort of conventional fixed route bus service, you've got to kind of walk all the way to the bus stop. You've got to meet the bus stop at a particular time and a place. And in many cities, that works great and is a great method of transportation. But for some folks in some communities, it doesn't work as great. And it doesn't get you exactly between the 2 points you need to go, where you're traveling and when you're traveling. And for folks, especially with limited mobility, sometimes it can create a challenge and sort of a transportation desert, as we call it. And so really with these kinds of on-demand microtransit services, it's about, can we sort of create what we call virtual bus stops? Could any corner in the town, in the service area, really become a bus stop? And so either through a smartphone app or through a phone booking system, if that's your preference, could you just be able to call and get the bus when and where you need it and take you where you need to go? And so that in a nutshell is the technology and kind of what we're doing with this project. And I'm just going to share my screen for a second, just so we got some of the key details of the service up that everybody can see.
This is always the anxious moment. Oh, there you go. You did it perfectly.
Okay,
Yes,
you're right.
you should get applause for this. You did it. Right? This is big.
I work for a tech startup. Hopefully I can share a screen.
We'll have her back. That makes you a regular guest on the show. Now we know you can do this. This is big.
Yeah, if you can do a larger screen share on that would be great. If you can go to presentation mode there we go. Perfect. So our viewers, Frank and Mary, can really see that. There we go. Perfect.
All right. Okay. As you can see sort of on the right side, we've got a map of the service zone. So we're servicing a number of key areas within Westborough. We've got the T stations, we've got the high school, Northborough Crossing, Westborough Senior Center. So a lot of key hubs in the community. And with the service, you can book anywhere, in the blue area from any point to any point within that service zone. And I think we'll start with the most kind of exciting piece of information is for the first month of service, all rides are free. Can't get better than that. So we really want folks to feel comfortable trying the service, testing it out, and really want that to be, as smooth a process as possible. So folks can feel comfortable trying it out and seeing how it works for them. After the first month, fares are staying, really, really, really affordable and accessible for folks. So rides are going to be $2 within the zone. And if you're riding to the train station, only $1. So really helping to facilitate sort of that first last mile access and connect into the broader public transit system of the region. And like I said, you can book rides anywhere within the zone to anywhere within the zone. So, when you're booking through the smartphone app, it's as simple as just kind of typing in the address where you're getting picked up, press and set pickup, type in the address where you're getting dropped off, press set drop off, and you're able to book. If you're booking through the phone line, you would just give the address to the operator who'd be standing by and happy to book that ride for you. And you can see here the phone number, if you're going to call to book a ride, is 508-388-6620. We've got really, really friendly customer support agents who are standing by, who are happy to help anybody book a ride. We are being very sort of COVID aware and sort of making sure that this is a really safe service for people to ride in sort of these pandemic times. So capacity of vehicles are limited to ensure that you can kind of maintain social distancing in the vehicle. There's extensive training for drivers around cleaning and compliance. We're asking people to wear masks, and obviously to, if you're feeling sick and you suspect you may have COVID, please don't ride. And
Stay at home.
Please stay home. Hours of the service, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday as well. So hopefully get to you where you need to go.
So thank you, Gabby. So lots of questions I've already received. So the service started yesterday formally, right, here in Westborough, right? So we kicked that off. The vans, I don't know if you have a photo of those, but generally, if you do, that's great if we can pull them up. But they're white. They've got some red and blue. They look really sharp. They're new. They're clean. This collaborative effort between WRTA and VIA has also enabled the service to include an ADA accessible van. So for folks that maybe have some mobility issues, the ability to get someone on safely who uses a rollator or a wheelchair is part of the service, which I think I know from my professional business in home care, that transportation for folks that have mobility issues is a real challenge. So the fact that this service is available in Westborough is extremely exciting, and it's affordable because practically speaking, a wheelchair assisted ride could easily cost in the private sector, easily $40 an hour. And so when you think about the cost of this at $2 one way, it's kind of a no-brainer that, you could take your loved one, or you could go by yourself if you have that ability, go shopping at Northborough Crossing. So very exciting.
Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah, of course. Go.
So this sounds like this is wonderful. It sounds like a cab, but you're using vans. So you're really taking people point to point within the zone, right? So my first question is, I'm assuming that the zone is what you just showed, that map, which includes not only all of Westborough, but then some little extensions that go out to Southborough or to get to Northborough Crossing and stuff. That's all in the zone.
That's right.
And if I want to book that to take a trip, how much ahead of time do I need to book?
It's on demand. So when you're ready to go, you book. I mean, always I would say best practice is to leave a little extra wiggle room. If you got to get to a doctor's appointment and you got to be there bang on, you may want to just err on the side of caution. But right. Again, it's really an on-demand service. So, a little bit more, ahead of time when you're ready to leave, you just call up the phone line or you get out your app and you'll be able to book and request. And, we'll tell you how long it's going to take the driver to reach you to pick you up. But it gives you that kind of flexibility. And I think, to your point, Shelby, about, specifically access for folks who need a wheelchair accessible vehicle. It's one of the things we've seen in a lot of services we operate around the world. We also operate some paratransit services. And for a lot of folks, these dial-a-ride services where you've got to book, 2 days in advance, it just doesn't give them the flexibility they need to be able to just, go to the grocery store when you need to go to the grocery store. So it's something we're really excited about as well.
Arthur, we also have 4 vehicles dispatched to serve the folks in Westborough for the 12 hours, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The prior service was one 12-passenger van that went from point A to point B, no deviated service. So this is a tremendous expansion for service for the Westborough community.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. So just to kind of a technical question, how do I pay? If I'm booking online, am I using is there an app there through which I'm paying? And if I'm booking by phone, do I need to give a credit card? How do I pay?
Yes, so definitely we take all credit debit cards. So if you're using it through the app, you can just add it to your account. And if you're calling on the phone line, you can give the phone number through the dispatch system, and they'll be able to add that to your account, so you don't have to worry about it going forward. Dennis, actually, I'll defer to you on this one. I don't know if you can pay with cash as well when you get on board.
I think if there was someone that wanted to do a cash payment on the vehicle, that would be allowed. But we think that's going to be a relatively minor number of folks because when they book the ride, it'll be so. We've had some experience with online scheduling of paratransit rides in the WRTA area, and out of 1,800 folks that are in that system with accounts, almost 95% pay with electronic media. So we think it's a fair gamble to say that most people are going to have some banking relationship or credit card that they can use to establish an account with VIA to make this work. In addition, VIA is going to augment some of the promotional things as we go along. Like if you ride on a regular basis, we may be able to get you other discounts or premium service or whatever. So, but again, the idea is to make this service that works for the residents of Westborough. This is transportation planning upside down. We're really focused on the rider, and we are committed to provide the resources to make it work.
Yeah, it sounds like just a very, very reasonably priced Uber, that you're really providing point to point on demand. It's instant. So, I know that, and I know that, we've had guests talking about, the kind of the general transit system. So will there also be some kind of a card that you could use? Is there, like, I always think of the Charlie card, when I think about stuff that goes into Boston. Is there some, or will every transaction be a separate transaction with, either a credit card or a debit card?
So certainly, I think within a number of our services, and I think this depends a little bit on sort of where we see the demand and sort of what folks want is, as Dennis mentioned, we have the ability to do sort of, we call them VIA passes, but it is almost like a transit card where you sort of, kind of prepay up front for a certain number of rides, and you've got them in your account, so you can just kind of use them as you go. These are options that are easy for us to configure in the system if that's, what we're seeing that folks kind of want to do, and we think it's a method that makes sense for folks in the community.
Yeah, I hope VIA definitely considers that, because I'm even thinking of, Frank and Mary may have children that want to kind of just preload an app, and when, maybe Frank and Mary aren't comfortable with the app, but their daughter is, so their daughter can say, hey, my mom needs to go from point to point, whatever, and I'll call her, tell her where the pickup is going to be, and it's going to be through my card or what have you. So this is just very exciting. I want to encourage folks, just in the time that we have here. First of all, I want to thank Gabby and Dennis for their time. I want to encourage folks, we'll make sure that number and is on the screen, and it will show that slide again for sure. Call if you have questions. The interesting part of the technology here is that the zone has some flexibility. We've talked about that in other conversations offline with Dennis and Gabby. And so they're going to use that technology to continually look at, does the zone for Westborough align with kind of the initial footprint? So if they're finding that folks are, calling, making it up to go to, just over the border into Northborough, some other place, then, the system, if you will, is dynamic to look at those possibilities.
It's terrific. And I know that, and I know Shelby, we had talked about the fact that for the end of the show, you want to have it before we end. We want to have a few minutes to talk about some things that are happening with the selectmen. But I'm sure that the selectmen will be monitoring this too, just to be kind of seeing how this is playing out, because you've got a wonderful kind of activist board, that can really that's really trying to accommodate here.
Yeah, absolutely. And last night we talked at our meeting about the climate action plan. So this aligns perfectly, as Dennis already said, with transportation goals and cutting down on kind of traffic and congestion and so on and so forth. So it's a sweet fit for Westborough, and we're so excited that the WRTA pursued it and worked with Westborough as to bring it forward.
Well, that's great.
One of the last thing I'll say about this is, and the really exciting thing about VIA is that they're designing a transportation network for this town of Westborough, which has never been done for a community like this before. They will hopefully be able to ramp up to the point where the vehicles are picking up some people along the way, dropping them off, picking up other people, dropping them off, picking up other people. So the routes that these 4 vehicles, if you had a map of Westborough for the 12 hours, will look like spaghetti, because these vehicles will be tasked to where the riders are and where they need to go. And it's a continually operating system. It is the transit system of the future, coupled up with the right e-commerce systems to book and pay for your fares. And we're excited, and we're very happy that we're doing this with VIA and with the town of Westborough.
That's really exciting. Now, Shelby, do you want these folks to stay on for the ending, or do you want to ask them if they want to leave?
Yep, you guys can stay on. I'm just going to give a quick update for the town, but again, thank you so much for the presentation. I know Frank and Mary are going to be excited to try it out, so thank you. So just as we transition to the town-oriented kind of topics, next Tuesday, the 29th of September, we will have a special town meeting. There are 3 articles on the warrant. One is a major purchase of land at 31 to 33 Eli Whitney Street, known as the Daypray property. That's for open space and conservation. There's a second article to provide supplemental funding for self-sustaining breathing apparatus for the fire department. They received grant money, so the vote is to allow for the full purchase and funding of that item. And then a minor kind of technical piece on the water treatment plant RFP. There is a fall town meeting coming up. We'll talk at a separate meeting about that. But again, Tuesday, 7 p.m., Westborough High School, please attend. Would love to see a good turnout for what will be a short meeting. You'll have plenty of time to get home to watch the debate, I promise. And then next week on Frank and Mary, we're going to talk about Westborough Power Choice, which is the community aggregation electricity plan. We're going to talk about how folks can be green and save money, stabilize their electric bills. It's going to be a really important conversation for Frank and Mary to watch.
Thank you, Shelby. Thank you very much, Dennis and Gabby. These are great presentations, and we'll look forward to seeing you as this progresses. We're dying to see this thing continue to grow. Shelby, thank you for finding these folks and for your summary. Folks, we hope you enjoy these shows. As you know, we do these twice a month because there are a lot of issues to be covered. Weekly. I keep doing that. Weekly. So if you've got suggestions for shows, we want to know about those, right? Because there's room to talk about the things that you think are really important. So thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week on the next installment of Frank and Mary here in Westborough. Thank you.